Hi, my name is Kelsey Roran, and I'll be presenting my child development portfolio for ECE 235. The child that I did my portfolio on is named Charlotte, and she was 13 months old when we started and 15 months old when we ended. So on the first page I just have pictures of 13 months, 14 months, and 15 months doing an activity that's discussed somewhere throughout the portfolio. Because the class is screening and assessment, on the table of contents I broke up the sections of the portfolio based on each assessment. The first is the narrative summary, and I put that first just so right away the reader can read about the biographical information on the child, her interests, her strengths in each of the pies, and how she can improve. On the second page, it continues, and I also just have a picture of her and her family to give an overall representation of the child. Next is developmental checklist, and I have each page of the checklist photocopied in, and then my recommendations to further her in each of the tasks that are listed there. Next is the parent interview, and that was done, interview was done with her father. I have the photocopy of the actual interview with all of his answers, both pages of that. And then I have my recommendation. I made sure to include his answers so that when the parents are going over it, they can see that I use some of the words he used to describe her. So for example, he described her as being adventurous and curious. So in my recommendations, I said that because she is adventurous and curious, we want to help her build on that and explore outside and further her growth. That way the parent knows I'm listening to them and taking that into account for their child. Next is self-portrait, and because of her age we did finger painting, so you can see her work here, and then we talk about why we did finger painting and how to further her concept and understanding of body and self-portrait and self-image, and their recommendations and different activities that can be done at her age level to help with that. Next is writing samples. The first one is a picture of her first writing sample, and then a summary of how she has a cylindrical grasp and is in the scribbling stage. And then next is just another piece of her work. Next is a video observation, which has the anecdotal notes from the video, which was her playing with a cause and effect toy where she made an animal come up for the first time. So in the summary, I talk about how we can improve her fine motor skills and her cognitive and intellectual development with these types of activities and these type of toys, and how to grow with her on that. And then also the file name is there so the reader can reference it if they need to. Next is anecdotal observations, which we did two of, one at 13 months, one at 14 months. So the first activity was her with a texture book that was made for her, so the anecdotal notes are there. And then the recommendations, how to further her interest in different textures, such as rice tables, sand tables, water play, and there's pictures of her from the observation. Next was a month later at 14 months, and she's doing activity with her parents where she's putting stickers on pumpkins and they're carving pumpkins, and the anecdotal notes are there, and then the recommendations how to further her growth. Next is the normative chart summary. So in each, I have a picture of each section and then a summary below it, so that you can reference what I'm talking about with the summary. And so it's broken up into 3 different parts there, so you can see each one and the summary that goes with it. And then I also have behind that each normative chart placed that's completed, and it's folded so that you can see each one and what we're talking about. And then it could be pulled out, referenced as you go along to see as she's progressing through each one. And that is my developmental portfolio. Thank you.